Okay, so welcome everybody. It's another beautiful market review session. As usual, as is our custom, all right, this is a platform where we just take a look at what the markets are expected to do during the course of the week, all right, and if you're already familiar with this platform, then you basically already know how it is done, all right. So the way we start is by looking at the currency indices first, all right. We take a look at the currency indices. And then the currency indices becomes they formulate a basis for us, a bias for us to be able to work with for the rest of the week. All right. So currently this is DXY, which is basically the currency index for the dollar. All right. Currency indices simply serve the function of what a market cap would do. All right, what market cap does for crypto traders, all right, is what the currency index analysis does for us. All right, the currency index tells us the overall impulse or the overall direction of a particular commodity. All right, based on its comparison with other pairs that it has been paired up together with. Okay, so right here, we can see that on the weekly time frame, we have two other block options, all right? Even though this is the most, this is the closest to us right here. Let me zoom in so you see that. All right, on the weekly time frame, break of structure. All right, break of structure here. We have this other block here. We have the other block somewhere around here. Okay, but in order to be, to be on the safe side, all right, we want to look at this first order block as our potential reversal zone on the DXY, all right, and if you look at what we have on the DXY right now, you see that we're having some bit of reaction from the DXY, okay. All right, so on the weekly time frame, we can expect the dollar to get weaker. All right, if we're expecting the dollar to get weaker, it basically means that for commodities like EURUSD, GBPUSD, we might be looking at, we might be looking at what's it called now, buying them. All right, this is the 4 hours time frame. Let's quickly break that down on the 4 hours time frame. Okay, so for me, before I'm able to confirm that the dollar is ready to fully go AWOL, all right, I would like to see this, all right. I would like to see something like this, okay, which would be that we bounce off this other block zone, okay. After bouncing off this other block zone, we come into this other region here, okay. And then from this region here, we can start to talk about prices going lower, okay. So once I see this during the course of the week, then I will be pretty much more confident, okay, that the dollar is ready to go bearish, okay. So like I said, also please note that tomorrow is the 4th of July, all right, so it's most likely a public holiday in the United States. And like I also always advise you guys, Mondays are not the best days to trade, okay, because Mondays are usually the days where the banks are trying to get in the groove for the entire week. All right. So they're trying to understand what their approach to that week would be. All right. They need to be able to know, okay, this week, these are the commodities that we are going to be focusing on. These are the directions that we are hoping to take. All right. They will do all of those strategy sessions and strategy meetings and all of that just to be able to ensure that, okay, yeah, they do something amazing. All right, so it's either we have something like this on DXY or maybe something even cleaner. All right, maybe something even cleaner. All right, this would be a much better option because it will give us a clearer break of structure. All right, as compared to what we would have gotten from here. All right, from here. So let's see how that plays out. Okay, so the next currency index we want to take a look at is the EXY. Let's do AXY, all right, which is the Australian index. And this simply tells us what our expectations are for the Australian dollar. All right, I believe we can remember this was the analysis from March. All right, this was the set from March that we have been following step by step, steadily, all the way from March. All right, we've talked about this. This was the setup from last week. We talked about the fact that we're expecting the Australian dollar to go even lower, much lower. All right, perhaps till it fills up this gap. Okay, so this gap, if it fills up this gap, we can consider that as a possible zone. All right. Or there's also a possibility that that gap serves as an area for a liquidity grab where we then come into this overall order block before we go back up. Okay. So all of these are options, but nonetheless, it means that on the AXY, we're still expecting, at least for a couple of days, all right, we're still expecting some bearish momentum. Okay, we're still expecting some bearish momentum. Having said that, let's look at BXY. BXY is the pound index. It tells us what to expect from the pound during the course of the week. All right, and as you can see, we've just tested into this order block on the weekly. Pound is currently reacting. And we have talked about the fact that we should see pound coming higher to somewhere around here. All right, maybe somewhere around there, then dropping. Okay, so that we come into this other block right here. Okay, and then drop lower. But what this means is that we should expect some small degree, all right, some tiny degree of strength on the pound, all right. But that's just by the way, all right. The next one I want to look at is the EXY, all right. We're still going to confirm all of this on the major charts, all right, and then use all of this to formulate a coercive bias. EXY, we talked about EXY dropping. That was since early June, all right, dropping this far, all right, coming into this zone and then reacting. And I talked about the fact that we'll see it rise, drop, and then push back up. All right. So there's every likelihood that we're already ready for that move at the moment. All right. We've had this change of character over here. Okay. So having had all of this set up, okay, we can also look at the JPY basket. All right. Or let's do JPYX. Okay, so this is the JPY index, all right, and currently on the weekly time frame, we've had some impressive movements from the JPY over the last couple of days, all right. At least I've made some money buying the JPY, all right, or selling pairs against the JPY, and then we can see that we've made double bottoms here, okay, which could end up serving as equal lows for price to go even lower. All right, so if you're still selling the EXY against other commodities, I think it will be a safe point to exit your trades. All right, we've seen this equal highs liquidity grabbed here. All right, this equal highs liquidity being grabbed here. Currently, we're looking at price inside this other block area. All right, which means that there's every likelihood that price comes all the way down here to take out all the liquidity that has been gathered there. Okay, so if you're selling maybe GBP JPY, Euro JPY, CAD JPY, whatever, now would be a very good time to exit those trades right now, right? To be a very good time to exit those trades, at least until we have, until we're able to see price do something more meaningful. Okay, something along that line. All right, so right about now we're going to go into the currency pairs. All right, we're going to go deeply into the currency pairs. So we're going to be starting with the majors as usual. Let's take a look at Euro USD. All right, I think I want to do this on a clean chart. I'm going to do this on a clean chart. All right, so this is Euro USD on the daily time frame. Remember, we talked about the fact that there's possibility of the euro getting weaker. All right. And then we also talked about the possibility of the dollar getting weaker. What that means is that we should expect some, to some extent, ranging markets on the euro for a bit, on the Euro USD for a bit. All right, this is the daily time frame. We should expect the market to range a little bit. Okay, we've seen price come below this level. All right, This is the only level that price has not yet broken as of now. All right, as of right now. So before we can conclude that this is a buy, because for me, I'm still seeing price coming into this other block here. All right, I'm seeing the possibility of prices maybe coming into this other block here. All right, at which point we would have taken out liquidity from this zone. All right, we most likely have taken out liquidity from that zone. So this would be a very, very good entry for EURUSD to sell. To sell from, let's quickly mark out my preferred entry zone. All right, so in order to be able to have better risk to reward, I think that would be a better entry point, somewhere around 1.05213. All right, somewhere around 1.05213. Okay, let's give me a minute. All right, so EURUSD, I'm sorry, I usually love to document my outlooks. EURUSD, we're looking at 1.05213 per entry. All right, and the direction is a sell. Okay, so let's quickly look at GBPUSD. Sorry, let me check. EURUSD, let me be clear about this. Okay, yes, we broke structure here, so I think we're pretty safe. We're quite safe. The daily time frame, yes, I think that works. Yes, that works. So let's see how that plays out. Okay, worst case scenario, price would come maybe this much. All right, and that would be in the case that price wants to continue bullish. Okay, but I'm sure that we would have taken some at least some good amount of profit. Okay, this is another possibility. All right, so price could just come here, tap here, and then come higher, which would be a stronger liquidity grab, all right, from this area. Okay, so that from there we can have the bearish movement. Okay, so that's basically that on EURUSD. Let's quickly go to GBPUSD. All right, right about now, if you have any commodity you want to request that I take a look at, you can drop it in the general group right now. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. I didn't know that my audio was off. Thank you, Mr. Tim, for notifying me about that. All right, Nasdaq, GBP, AUD, BTC, USD, Euro, JPY, AUD, USD. All right, we'll take a look at AUD, USD later. Oh, sorry, am I sure? Okay, no, that's not for today. Okay, this is for today. Okay, good. So please let me know what commodities you want me to take a look at. You can drop it in the group right now so that I can address that as we proceed. Okay, so this is EURUSD, and from a more convenient GBPUSD rather, from a more detailed point of view, I think we might see prices come here, all right, come up higher this much. Okay, so that from here we can have our sell entry. You can see that I already marked out that zone. Okay, it's a very important zone that I'm looking at on the daily time frame. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing basically before I take a trade on this commodity, all right, because as you can see, there's another block right around here. Okay, so and that other block is most likely going to give us opportunities for a sell. Okay, and if we don't get a solid reaction from that other block, all right, there's still a couple more other blocks. Reason being that right now, price has shown us that we are in a downtrend. All right, we've seen this QML pattern here. The moving averages are telling us that we're in a downtrend. Okay, and then right about now, we should see price do something like this after forming the second shoulder. Or worst case scenario, all right, the worst case scenario would be that we'll come into maybe here. All right, that would be the worst case scenario. So how do I handle this kind of situation? I'm sure that my VIP students already know what this is. All right, so that would be a preferred entry zone. Now, I'm giving all of this free expo because, like I said, from Wednesday, Thursday, I will not be available this much. All right, so I'm taking some time off for to pay attention to the family and run some other things that I am involved with. Okay, so this is GBPUSD. My preferred zone is what I've marked out. All right, for a sell. So we're looking at 1.21357. All right, for a sell. Okay, so you can check that out. When price gets there, if you have lower time frame confirmations, you can just snipe your way into that trade and make the most of that setup. Okay, I'm not seeing anyone mentioning the commodities they want us to take a look at. Just let me know in the group. All right, just drop it in the free group that okay. Just drop the name of the commodity. All right, just do that, and I'm going to address it as we move. All right. The next one we're going to take a look at right about now is AUD-USD. All right, Mr. Tim. Gold. Okay. All right. So this is AUD-USD. Give me a scale of a lifetime. All right. Took out my entry at break even. Then I was crazy enough to I didn't take this AUD-USD sell from here. But well, it's all for the best. Let's go to the 4 hours time frame and see what prices could likely be doing. Remember, we've talked about the fact that AUD right now is quite weak. All right, it's quite weak. And as a result of that, it's safe to assume that we should still continue bearish. All right, it's safe to assume that we should still continue bearish. And what that means is that this is another block area, all right, on the 1 hour time frame. I think we've seen liquidity get grabbed around that area. Yes, we've seen liquidity get grabbed before we come into that zone. All right. So we've taken out liquidity, we've stepped into this other block. Okay, and we have had this reaction. All right, but nonetheless, I'm also seeing that this could be an intention. All right, this could be an intention. All right, so there's this other block right here. All right, so that shows us the possibility that price pushes higher into this zone. Okay, pushes higher into that zone before we get our drop. All right, and if you look at that closely, you see that it also aligns quite well with the overall market structure. All right, it aligns quite well with the overall market structure, which is bearish. All right, so you want to take a bet on that area, let price get there, and then you can shoot your shot. Like I always say, it's important to be as safe as possible. All right, so as many confirmations as you need to see, be sure to see them before you take your trade. All right, so that's AUD-USD. All right, so AUD-USD, we're targeting a possible sell, all right, from somewhere around 0.68747. All right, we're targeting a possible sell. Do your lower time frame analysis to be able to corroborate that. All right, the next thing we want to take a look at right about now is let's quickly do NZDUSD before we look at the analysis. You can still drop any commodity you want me to take a look at, all right? We'll do justice to that, and then we can address that. NZDUSD was another trade that took me out at break-even. I saw this liquidity grab taken. I saw this other block. I took the trade. I was expecting to break structure higher here, but it didn't. It only got rejected from this other block here. All right. We got the rejection from this other block here, and price went lower. So I've learned NZDUSD for me is a complete sell bias. All right. But I am also seeing the possibility of a liquidity grab somewhere around here. All right. The possibility of a liquidity grab, which means that I can go to the lower time frames and search for an entry around there. Or better still, this could be this area might give us our first reaction, all right? When we see price do something along this line, okay? And what that means is that if you miss this this sell, all right, or if you are taking this sell, don't target that price will go too far yet, all right? Let price come back into somewhere around here, okay? Then you can search for entry criteria for a buy and then take this buy, okay? And then run the buy all the way up here, because basically we're seeing the possibility of another liquidity grab somewhere around here before price steps into this other block and then drops. Okay, so you want to be very careful about your entry around there, but I think that area would be a very good entry zone. All right, so for NZDUSD, we're looking at two possible areas. The first one would be around 0.62375. All right, and the second one is 0.62679. All right, so I think that would be that. So let's quickly look at USDJPY. All right, remember, like I said, we might be seeing JPY getting stronger during the course of the week. This is my USDJPY. I think I'm going to be closing out of this trade as soon as the market opens. This is about that's about 1:4 already, so I think I've had enough. So basically, let's see what this is. All right, let me remove some of this. All right, so why am I saying that we might be seeing a buy on USDJPY anytime soon? All right, we may not see a direct buy just yet, all right, but I think from somewhere around here, all right, maybe somewhere around here, we might be seeing the USDJPY giving us a buy. All right, we've had this break of structure all the way here. All right, let me check that closely. This is 1 hour time frame. This other block has been tested. We have liquidity grab here. Okay, so we might want to come into somewhere around here. All right, okay, maybe something along this line. All right, something along this line would be a better prediction for me. which means that the criteria for me to continue selling USD JPY would be on the condition that price breaks below structure here. All right, we'll be on this condition. Price breaks below structure. We come back for a retest, and then we can drop much lower. Okay, that would be the only criteria for me. Hopefully, the moving averages would would have moved a bit closer. All right, and it will be easier to make that decision. Okay, are we clear about this, please? I think we are. I believe we should be. So the next one we want to quickly take a look at is the gold. All right, so this is gold. As you can see, I have a sell entry on gold. Last week was a pretty crazy week on gold. We had a lot of shabby movements. Many of them made me lose some of my entries, but it's fine. But currently, we can all see that price is currently approaching a zone. All right. We could see dynamic liquidity getting taken, all right, maybe after this kind of manner, all right, and then all right, something like this, okay, which means that if you are not in this sell right now, all right, if you're not taking this sell trade right now, one of the best things that you can do for yourself would be to wait for price to come into somewhere around here. All right, wait for price to get into that area. All right, I think we had a break of structure from that zone. Okay, did we? All right, yeah, that should be a zone to look at. All right, on the 12 hours time frame. All right, so what you can do if you're not selling gold yet, all right, one thing you can do is to wait for price around the 1822.86 area. $1822.816 area, all right, for the sell. Okay, and then for the buy, if you're able to get some good confirmation for the buy, then no problem. You can buy to that zone and then sell from that zone. Whichever one works for you is perfect. All right, so that is also a possibility, because if you look here, you see that there are imbalances. This is an imbalance, a very strong one, and then price would need to come down to mitigate that imbalance. All right, because even this bullish movement we're having right now is a move to to mitigate an imbalance. All right, so as a result of that, let us see what XAUUSD gold is going to be giving us during the course of the week. All right, and I hope that you guys stay tuned for this. Does anybody else have any commodity they would like us to take a look at? I want to take just 2 more commodities. All right, just mention 2 commodities. I'll try my best to give you my overall bias and a possible entry zone that you can look at for the week. Please note that I'm a swing trader, and that's why some of my entries are not directly entries that you can visibly see in the next 5-10 minutes, all right, or in the next 5-10 hours, 5 hours, 4 hours, all right. I prefer to take trades that I can leave for 2-3 days, or maybe even just 1 day, all right. So those are the kind of trades that I love to work with the most, all right. Does anybody else have any commodity they want us to take a look at? Anybody? Just type it in the group. Just type it in the main group. Let me see what you would like me to review for us. Okay, it seems like everybody is satisfied for tonight. If you also have a question, you can quickly drop it in the group. I'm going to entertain just one question, all right? If you have a question, drop it in the group, all right? So that we can have that done in the next 2-3 minutes, and then we can wrap up for tonight. There's so many things to do to prepare for the new trading week. Any questions, any market review session requests? All right, I think on that note, it's safe to, okay, USD CAD. All right, let's quickly do USD card. I think I have a sell running on USD card. Exactly. I know I have a sell running on USD card. This was my first entry. This is my second entry. This is USD card so far today. I think this is today. Yeah, it has to be. It has to be today. All right, so market opened all the way from down here, and then we've seen price shoot higher. All right, which means inadvertently that we have broken structure to the downside. All right, we've broken structure lower. All right, and that means that let's see. All right, that means that this should be, if you're unable to take a solid entry from 1.28840, all right, if you're unable to get a clear entry from that area, I think another zone to look out for, or one of the best zones to look out for, would be here. All right. 1.28840 or 1.29086. All right. Those would be the preferred areas for a sell entry. All right, because we have this other block ongoing here, and I'm sure that Mr. Tim and a couple of my guys would already see this interesting QML pattern that we have right here. All right, so we can have this and then price continues lower. All right, we can have this and then price continues much lower. Okay, so I think that that is USD. Yes, price is already back up, but you notice that the body of this candle already opened below this low. All right, broke out here, broke out here. All right, broke out here, broke out here, broke out here. All right, so there's a possibility that this big move back up is just a move to fill up this gap. All right, fill up the gap, give a retest, and then drop. Although my money is going to be more towards this area. All right, which is the 1.29086. All right, it's going to be towards that area a bit more, because I think I can see another.
1.20986.
I can see another bigger QML. All right. So there's a bigger QML inside that region. Okay, so Mr. Tim, I believe you can see that too. You understand what we're looking out for right now. Mr. Prosper, let me know if you understand what our outlook is. Okay, all right. I think he gets that. Okay, so USD card is still a sell, all right. Although we might see some bit of struggle around this area, but I think I'm still positive about this being a sell entry. All right, I'm still very positive about this being a sell entry. All right, so I think we've addressed all the analysis requests. During the week, if I'm available, you can drop any charts that you're looking at. Get my opinion or the opinion of any other member of the team. All right, they would look into that for you. Choco 8080 Alex. All right, you can unmute your mic. Let's hear what you have to say. Mr. Alex, please unmute your mic. Choco 8080. All right, please go ahead. We're listening. Mr. Alex, please go ahead with it.
Can you hear me, sir?
Oh, it's a miss. All right, I can hear you.
Okay. Please, I want you to help me and analyze the audio NZD.
All right, that's Australian dollar NZD.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll look into that. Thank you. All right, let's quickly do that before we wrap up for tonight. AUD NZD. All right, so I think I already have a bias on AUD NZD. We're expecting liquidity to be grabbed here, and it has already been grabbed. This was a sell that I took during the week, 1:2.5. What we're looking at right now is that price comes into this zone. All right, price comes into this zone. And then we can start to look for opportunities to buy. All right, we can start to look for opportunities to buy. However, if price breaks below this level, all right, it's a very small stop loss. If price breaks below this level, okay, you can expect price to do this. Okay, so for the buy, I think the preferred entry points will be somewhere around 1.09436. All right, 1.09436 will be the preferred entry point for a buy. All right, but that's pending, your confirmation that you see on the lower time frames before you enter this trade. All right, so I think we've addressed all of that. During the course of the week, you can send in your analysis, ask questions. I'm sure that somebody in the group would be kind enough to give answers, and then you can all engage and talk about things like that. Okay, so I want to say a big thank you, everybody, for joining once again tonight. It's been a pleasure hosting you. It's been a pleasure spending this time with you. My name remains Adetola-Freeman. I am your host, your friend, and the lead instructor at EasyFX Academy. All right, so I want to wish you a very profitable trading week. I want to wish you one of the best weeks you've had so far. And I'm hoping to God that this week you will make some massive, massive returns in every effort that you put in. All right, so till I come your way again during the course of the week, I want to say big thank you and God bless you. Have a lovely rest of the week, and bye-bye.